Our workshop is collaborative homework tools for extensive reading and listening activities. So my name is Diane and Ramon is my research partner. We both live in Japan and teach at university. Ramon?
So because we are a little bit short on time, we're going to go through some parts of the originally planned presentation, just a little quicker than planned, but we will cover some of these parts, including the warm-up background. We'll give you some elements of a live demo of what we did over the course of 3 weeks. And then if we have some time at the end, we'll have a little reflection and debrief session, and then a Q&A followed. Okay, so let's start with a quick warm-up. In the next few minutes, you will join a breakout room. And this is a good chance to get to know some of the people in the workshop because you will be working with them later on in the workshop. Okay, so let's look at this prompt. What are some activities you use inside or outside of the class to follow up extensive reading or extensive listening tasks? For example, do you use book reports, quizzes, or even literature circles? Okay, so Dan's going to make the breakout rooms and then we'll put you there shortly.
Okay, so let me send you into breakout rooms. We've got Yerkin and Janet who have not joined. Ah, Janet.
There we go.
Janet is not joining. Omnia is by herself in room 1. Ramon, can you go to room 1? I think Janet is not on their computer. Janet, can you hear us? Ah, someone's disappeared from room 2. Well, we only have 2 people.
Would you like me to go, Diane?
It's okay, I've sent that person to room 1.
Okay.
So we only have 1 room with 2 people in it now. Okay. I'll just quickly go to room 1 to see how it's going.
Did half the people leave the workshop? It seems there was like several people, but
we only have 2 people now.
Oh, okay.
That's why I moved someone.
Oh, okay. I think Amnia's mic doesn't work, so she's typing or he's typing everything in the Zoom chat, and I didn't see CK's response, but just gives him some time to talk.
Yeah. How long do you think we should give them?
Maybe just another minute. We only have 2 people, so probably it'll go faster than having like more people. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Just got an email from Sandy, and she said you guys could take as long as you want. So I have class in about an hour. So
Okay.
let's just milk it for what we can.
No worries.
I wasn't given the link, the correct link at the beginning.
Yeah. Mishaps. That's what happens with technology, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll go back into the breakout rooms and see if they need a little more time.
Yeah, cool. Can you, yeah, you can go by yourself. Okay. Is it okay?
Yeah, I think they need another minute. They're
Okay.
talking about textbooks and some of the activities that they use, literature versus non-literature type of media.
So does Omnia have a mic then?
Now she does. When I was talking to her, she was typing, but they're talking right now together.
Okay, cool.
Or yeah.
We'll make it easier.
I was thinking of maybe if we could send this later on, but maybe me and Diane could recruit some students and then take a pre-recorded video, because I think some of these pre-recordings will go up online, but because we have an incomplete workshop, I think it would not be ideal to upload this recording because it's sort of incomplete.
That sounds like a great idea. I don't know if they are doing that, but I haven't heard of it yet. But I think most people, I think Diane or Sandy will be okay with it.
Okay.
Should I?
Okay, let's welcome them back.
Okay. Oh, we've got a 60-second. Okay. The rooms will close in 50 seconds now.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, they're coming back.
Okay, welcome back from the breakout rooms. Hopefully you had a pretty good discussion about some of the activities you use in your teaching context. So we're going to give you a little bit more information about our teaching context and the reason why we decided to make this type of extensive reading program.
So we teach at university level, and at Hitotsubashi, there's a course called PACE, designed for first-year students, and it's a compulsory course comprising of 2 classes per week. Each class is about 100 minutes. One class will be more focused on reading and writing, and another class on listening and speaking. And for each of these classes, for each lesson, they're supposed to be doing 2 hours of homework, which is quite heavy. So in terms of their homework, that's the breakdown. So 30 minutes spent on project research, 30 minutes on LMS discussion post, 30 minutes on textbook activities, and 30 minutes of extensive reading. And more or less the same for the listening and speaking class, but more focused on listening and speaking skills, of course. Now, the extensive reading goals are, of course, to increase reading fluency, but also to promote habits of reading outside of class and motivate students by letting them choose their own topics and focus on what they're interested in and make them want to read. Ramon?
Okay, so here's some observations. Take 15 seconds and please read the slide. And after you're done, please type done in the Zoom chat. Okay, great. So if I can focus your attention on number 2, because the main focus of the program is not literacy per se, there's not a lot of time for students outside of class to read full-length novels and books of that nature. So they read short articles, but the issue is that every week they have different articles. And so one observation was that students were going through new topics so fast, they didn't actually have enough time to go deeper into a particular topic. So that's one reason why we decided to kind of galvanize the extensive reading and listening program. Some feedback that we got through evaluations from the extensive reading and listening program was an uncertainty of the goal of extensive reading. There was a little bit of a disconnect between the academic literacy composition component of the program and reading for enjoyment. Sometimes students didn't see the connection. And because there was no follow-up in terms of book reports or quizzes or tests, some students said that a lot of stuff that they've read or listened to, a few weeks later, they couldn't remember. And so there was no retention or internalization of topics that they read or listened about. So as a result, many students miss out on the automaticity or bottoms-up approach that occurs as a consequence of ample and recursive practice. The more times you read about content, a particular content, the more versed or confident you'll be in using vocabulary and language to talk about that topic. And students weren't getting that. So we decided to galvanize some aspects of the program, and we came up with this acronym called REVIVE. And the first part was we wanted students to revisit vocabulary in a particular content area. So if they were interested in the coronavirus, or if they were interested in some sports, that they would revisit that area, not just 1 week, but over a period of 2 or 3 weeks. And so this would help them explore topics in greater depth. And I think because students are reading about topics that they've chosen for an extended amount of time, they'll see it as more of a rewarding activity. And so the last part of this acronym, IVE, a lot of times we found that if we do have something like a little quiz or some kind of book report, students actually don't get to share their ideas with other people. So we wanted to add a more collaborative element to the extensive reading and listening program. And we hope that these programs will help them value collaboration in and outside of class. And this will help them elevate accountability, because in homework, they have to read, but then in class, they have to discuss. So if they don't do the homework, they can't discuss. So by having these kind of new additions to the program, we expected students to hold their classmates more accountable for doing homework.
So I'm going to give you an overview of the lesson cycle. Our activity is designed over 3 lessons and partially lesson 1 of the new cycle. I'm going to explain. So for lesson 1, in class, groups will agree on 1 article that they're interested in. For homework, students will read the article at home and take notes individually on Google Docs. During lesson 2, in class, they will discuss the articles that they chose and read for homework. Remember, 1 group, 1 article. And for homework, they will decide on 1 aspect that they want to focus on. So each student will focus on a different aspect of the article, and they're going to do further research on that article. Now in lesson 3, they will put their findings together and organize them and try. So for the reading and writing class, they will try and write a summary. So they will each have to write a paragraph and try to organize their ideas properly. And for the listening and speaking class, they will make a presentation. So again, they will have to organize all of that. Now, in terms of the articles, we decided to use a website called Newsella, which offers news articles at 5 different reading levels. So no matter what student levels are, they can still do this activity anyway. And the platform is free to use. You only have to register to use it. You also have a bit of flexibility. Teachers can choose the articles for the class, or students can choose their own articles. It depends how you want to handle the activity. So as we said, in lesson 1, they choose an article to read. Lesson 2, they read an article related to the first one on a specific aspect. Lesson 3, they put everything together in the form of a paragraph or a presentation. And then lesson 1 of the new cycle, at the start of the lesson, they present their findings, they share their paragraphs with the class, or they make their presentation. So for the in-class, so for the production, the final production of the whole 3 lesson cycle, for the reading and writing class, each person writes a paragraph for homework. So 1 group, 1 article, 4 students in each group, and 4 paragraphs, because 1 paragraph each. Groups have to select the best paragraph in their groups, and then they can decide which paragraph is the best, and maybe there can be some kind of incentive, like a few more points in, I don't know, in their homework grade if they've got the best paragraph, and so on. You can turn it into some kind of little game. For the listening and speaking class, they can either do in-class group presentations or online group synchronous presentations using, for example, Flipgrid, or recording a video and then uploading it on their Google Classroom, etc. Ramon?
Okay, so sort of our research question area, we hope that this program or this approach will help students revisit vocabulary and grammar repeatedly, aiding in reinforcement and internalization. And we think that this will help galvanize part of the extensive reading and listening program. So let's move on to the next slide.
So now you're going to do what students normally do in the course of 3 weeks, but we're going to have you do it in 20 minutes. To do so, however, for time purposes, we're going to provide the links that you're going to read. We're not going to ask you to do research. Students normally would go and do further research and so on, but of course that wouldn't be possible in 20 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you the links that actual students chose for our classes, so you can experience the activity from their point of view. Let's get started. So we're going to assign breakout room numbers. Dun, dun, dun. Based on your breakout room number, you have to follow the corresponding QR code. There aren't many breakout rooms, so that shouldn't be too difficult. If I can get it. Okay, so we have 2 breakout rooms. In breakout room 1, we've got Sirin and Elizabeth. Please, for breakout room 1, Sirin, Elizabeth only, you can scan this code. Do not do anything with the link yet, just have it open and ready to use. You don't need to look through it yet. So Sirin, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, and Elizabeth. And then we have breakout room 2 with Julia, Omnia, and Shumaila. So if you can scan this code, and I think Ramon is going to send the links in the chat as well to double up. Please raise your hand if you do not have your link ready. All good. All right. Okay, Ramon.
Okay, so with those links, you're going to use part of those Google Documents for the first part of the activity. Okay, so remember, in the original plan, students would choose an article, but the links that we've sent you will guide you towards an article that they chose. Okay, this article does not have to be related to class content. It could be related to just something that people have voted to read for the whole group. The most important thing about the topic is it should be something that everyone in the group wants to read, and it should be interesting. Okay, so for homework, after students have chosen an article, a topic to read, they're going to do that for homework. And as part of their homework, after they read, they're going to take notes and they're going to share their summary and a small opinion. And in the next few moments, Diane is going to model this for you.
So what you're going to do now is you're going to go to week 1 of the extensive reading, and you're going to do your homework. So you've got a link here. So just follow this link. It's actually a newsletter article, but because we couldn't have you register, we just copied and pasted it, but you can find it on their website. So please read this article and then choose one of the boxes, write your name here, and then write a quick summary as well as your opinion. It can be in note form. It doesn't have to be full sentences. So now it's time to do your homework. You have just a couple of minutes to do that. Go. I'm sorry, you have different participants from when I assigned the rooms. So actually, Cyrene and Victor, you're room 1, and Julia and Omnia, you're room 2. Check the link in the chat box.
Okay. I've not received the invite to go to that room.
You don't go. Sorry, you don't go to the room yet. You just have to do the homework directly on the Google Doc in here. So follow the link corresponding to room 1, I think, and write your name and then read the article and do the homework.
Can you post the article in the chat? Let me.
Yeah, Roman, can you post the article, please? The link to room 1 for Victor.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get back together. Your homework should be complete. Now we're in week 2. I see that, hold on. Let's see, homework for room 1. We have nothing. What happened? So we should have a student name here, and a few notes in each one.
I don't know why it didn't, but I was typing, but I don't know why I couldn't.
Really?
Because I'm using.
Oh, Diane, you might need to refresh maybe.
Ah,
maybe, yes.
I checked on my phone, there was nothing either.
So sorry for that. I'm not using my PC, I'm using the phone. So maybe there is a problem with my phone.
All right, no worries. It's not a problem. But yeah, just so everyone understands that, yeah, I'm supposed to be writing here. For room 2.
But I wrote down a couple of sentences on my sheet, so maybe I can say them to compensate for that.
Of course. You were going to give you the opportunity to share your notes now anyway. So as long as it's fresh in your head, at least that's good. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry once again.
No problem. But yeah, that allows us to track also student homework and see who has and hasn't done their homework. And also to be able to kind of judge how much effort they're putting into their homework tasks, which can be very convenient when it comes to assessment and so on. We'll see that in a little bit. So week 2 now, we're in class, you've all done your homework, and now you're going to get in your groups and you're going to just share your understanding of the article. So what did you understand? What do you think about it? And what aspect of the article would you like to find out more about? So if you go to your Google Doc again, you see week 2 in class discussion. If you go to this part, you've got the same prompt here. So now I'm going to send you into breakout rooms, and I'd like you to discuss these prompts. What did you think of the article? And what would you like to research further? Sending you in breakout rooms now. You've got a few minutes. Go. Ramon, I'm sending you to room 1 because there's someone that's new in that room, and I don't think she did the activity. So if you can just...
Yeah, that's fine. I'll fill them in.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Wait, did you say room 1 or room 2?
Yeah,
room 1?
One is Miss Edna Moda, who's just joined.
Okay. I mean, Victor and Serene are in there. I'll just join to see what they're talking about. They might actually help each other. Yeah.
I'll have a look in what's happening in room 2. Okay, looks like it's going well. Hello, Hannah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello?
I can hear you perfectly. Yeah. Hello.
Okay, great. Hello. Sorry. Welcome, first of all. We are doing a little hands-on workshop. Everyone is in breakout rooms now. I'm going to assign you to room number 2. I'm going to send a link in the chat box.
Okay.
That's the document we are working on right now. Hold on.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Give me a sec. There you go. Oh, is it the right one? Hold on, maybe it's not the right link.
For room 1?
Room 2.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Okay, so shall I wait? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Hold
Okay.
on. Copy link.
Okay.
Sorry, it's this one. If you can follow this link for now, and I'll just quickly explain how the document works. We've been working on week 1, and everyone's read the article following this link. Then people are supposed to write their names and then a summary and an opinion about the article. And right now they're discussing the article. So if you can just quickly read the article, and then you'll be able to catch up.
Okay, so on page 5, right?
So just this article here in room 2. That's the Google Doc called room 2. You just follow the link and you just read this article.
Okay. So the second link, right?
Hold on. Yes.
Okay. Good.
Hold on, let me screen share. That's probably up. So yeah, if you follow this link here, everyone's been reading this article. So if you can just quickly read that article, and then everything should make sense.
And then I write my name.
Yeah, writing the name.
One paragraph, and I write my name just after the paragraph, right?
No, week one. You're just going.
Week 1.
Yeah, right at the top. We're still there. Sorry. So just read. Just read the article for now. Everyone is going to come back from the breakout rooms in a second.
Okay, good. Okay, here we go. So now I can see it. Okay. I'm afraid the article is not quite clear because I'm connected via my mobile phone.
All right. Can you see it a little bit, or?
Yeah, but it's kind of flu. Okay.
A blurry?
Yeah.
Have you? I think it's good to close the breakout rooms.
I did.
It's you did? Okay.
Yeah. Everyone's coming back.
The handwriting is so small. It's so small. I can't read.
You can't read it. It's about zombie wildfires.
Yeah, I can see zombie wildfires can after underground, something like that. But I cannot really, focus or read details.
Just bear with us. You'll be able to read the next one, I hope. All right, everyone is back from breakout rooms. So hopefully you've had enough time to discuss. Now, so that was the in-class information sharing. Next, I'm going to give you your homework for next week. So you're going to research last week's topic further. So you're going to write your name in the table in week 2 and write some notes, etc. Now, again, to save some time, instead of you doing research, you're going to follow a link. These links, again, are links that students researched and found by themselves. So you can really see what they've come up with. If you've chosen to be student 1, follow link for student 1, student 2, etc. Try not to have the same link. So make sure you write your names this time in the table. So if you're student 1, write your name here and make sure you read the article for student 1. Okay, for student 2, you write your name and make sure you're reading the article for student 2. I'm giving you a bit of quiet time now here in the main room, just a few minutes to read the articles. And again, same thing, short summary, just notes and your opinion. Notes are fine. Go. And make sure you type. Go, 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 don't be shy. for room 1, make sure you're writing on the week 2 and not week 1. Week 2 should already be filled in. So if you want, you can just copy and paste for what you've written in under week 2. All right, so that's the end of your homework. And now it's week 3. So we're going to send you in breakout rooms again. You're going to share the information that you have further researched about your topic. Usually students have to decide on a role for week 3 in order to write their paragraphs, etc. You don't need to do that. I'll explain that in more details after the breakout room. So what you can do is on your Google Doc, you can go to week 3 and you've got the prompt, which is here. Don't worry about this one, okay? Just share the information. I'm sending you in breakout rooms now. For the people who have just joined us, you're going to stay in the main room and we're going to try and bring you up to speed. Okay. So for the people who have just joined, I'm going to send you a link. So for the new people, please follow the link in the chat box. This link is the link to our Google Doc, and that's what everyone's working on. I'll quickly explain what we've been doing so far. So if you look at this Google document, it's a 3-week cycle activity for extensive reading, which can also be applied to extensive listening, but I'll come to that later. So everyone has a shared article, one group, one article. There can be as many groups as you want in one class, but one group, one article. Each student will have to read the same article, write a quick summary with their opinion and their name. So the teacher is able to see how much effort they put in their homework, what they've done, and that they've actually completed it. That's for the first week. Then for the second week in class, they discuss what they understood about the article, and also they try to think of what aspect of the article they want to research further. And in that case, they're going to each research a different new article, different aspect of the topic. And then for the second week, they will write their name and a short summary and their opinion. Then in week 3, that's what everyone is doing now. They're going to share the information they have. So the original article plus at least 4 articles from their extra research, and put all of that together in order to write either a summary or an essay about it. In the case of extensive listening and writing, it will be for a presentation, for example. So that's what we have been doing so far, and that's that's what everyone is doing. So I'm going to send you in breakout rooms if I can. I can't yet. If you want, you can start having a look at the articles that I've just spoken about. So the first one for week 1, the original article, and then the different articles here. You can try and understand what the Google Doc looks like. Okay, just for a few minutes while everyone finishes the activity in breakout rooms. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to ask. All right, welcome back. So after this part, the homework is to synthesize the information of the news article, all of them, and each person will have to write one paragraph. In the example you have on the Google Doc, we asked our students to follow the structure of a body paragraph of an essay, because that was what we were studying at the time. But it's very flexible. You can ask them to write the paragraph for an essay, for a summary, whatever you want to focus on. So topic, sentence, organization, reasons and examples, that's what we wanted them to come up with. If you have a look under their homework, instead of asking you to write a paragraph, we're going to show you what our students wrote. So here we had 4 students in this group, and so we have 4 different paragraphs, ideally following the right structure. So now that's the students' homework for week 3. And now we're moving on to week 1 of the new cycle, and we're in class. So for homework, everyone wrote a paragraph about the collaborative research. And what they're going to do is in class, they're going to read each other's paragraphs and highlight the best paragraph in yellow. Of course, best as in, do they follow the right, have they followed the right structure? Is the language appropriate, etc. You can give them any criteria you want. So in this group, they decided that student 2 had written the best paragraph, and that's why it's highlighted in yellow. I'm going to give you just 1 or 2 minutes to read the paragraph so you get an idea of what students were able to produce at the end of the cycle. Okay, so each group chooses someone in their group that has written the best paragraph. As a little incentive, I used to give them, I don't know, 3 points for class contribution, etc. for that day. And that made them happy and it was good. Quite enjoyed that. All right, and so this was for the extensive reading, but the same activity can be applied for extensive listening. Ramon?
Yeah, so essentially week 1 and week 2 are the same in terms of selecting a topic that the group all wants to listen to and do some research on. So we're going to skip to week 3 because that's where the differences are. And skip this slide. So for the homework in week 3, instead of a collaborative paragraph, or instead of writing a paragraph, students will have to make an informal presentation. Okay, it doesn't have to be an academic presentation. It's more of a sharing. So if you come across something like a literature circle or a book club, it might be something like that. Students have a couple of different choices for how they want to present. Go ahead, Dan, move to the next slide. And so the 2 choices, one approach, which is the approach I took, I had a little bit less time in my class. So I decided to do the presentation online. And so I assigned it as sort of an asynchronous task. So students in a group would record and then do their presentations online through a program called Flipgrid. But Diane took a different approach.
Yeah, I decided to do in-class presentation. I thought it was worth taking the time in class. Yeah, so each group had to present in front of the class. It gave them confidence and they learned a lot through it. And also what I did is on the Google Doc, under week 3, I added a feedback session and I would give them live feedback while they were presenting. So at the end of their presentation, they could directly go to their Google Doc and have feedback from me. That was very short feedback. It looks like this, for example. Just very actionable kind of feedback, and I could see them improving throughout the year. So I thought that was very, very convenient. You could also use the Google Doc for peer feedback as well. That's definitely something possible. Now, after doing all of this, this is the feedback we got from students. The majority of students enjoyed the collaborative homework, both for extensive listening and extensive reading. And in terms of improving motivation and their skills, they thought both were good, especially the extensive listening. I think they particularly liked the presentations. But personal research was very highly rated as well. And personal research is kind of included in the extensive reading activity. So that is part of it in some ways. Some qualitative feedback we got. Students enjoyed the group topic with their friends, doing tasks together and collaborating, and also writing passages to improve their English skills. And negative feedback, they thought the interval between the presentations was maybe a bit too short and it could be spaced out a little bit more. And also some people pointed out that when their partners aren't motivated, it can be more complicated to do. Ramon?
Okay, so we're almost towards the end of the workshop. Thank you for your patience. And in the last part of the workshop, we'll just ask you to do a bit of a reflection. And I've given you some guiding questions, but you can also discuss any other questions you have. And so the first one is, what are some aspects of this workshop that you could use in your own teaching context? And then number 2, what would you tweak from today's workshop to better fit your extensive reading and extensive listening programs? Of course, me and Diane's teaching contexts are going to be quite different than many of your teaching contexts. So there might be some things that you may need to change in order to help kind of adapt some parts to your extensive reading and listening program. So we'd like to give you some time in breakout rooms to talk with other workshop participants.
And while you're discussing in breakout rooms, I'm also going to send you a link in the chat box. If you have any questions, just follow this link. It looks like this. And all you have to do is write your question here, and we can use this link. We can use these questions during the Q&A session. There you go. So please follow the link and ask any questions you have in here. I'm sending you in breakout rooms now. Go. Ramon, if you could maybe go to room 3. That's where we have 2 newbies together.
Okay.
Make sure you go to your breakout rooms. You can discuss with people. Hannah, Andrea, and could you please go to your breakout rooms, please? You just have to follow the link. Accept the invitation. Hannah, I've sent you to your breakout room. You should be able to join.
Sorry, but I didn't click on it. I missed it, sorry.
Hold on, let me move you to another room. How about now? Someone new has just joined us, so I'm sending the Google Doc link again, just so you can have access to it. Have a look. This is the activity we have just covered if you want to familiarize yourself with the activity. Feel free to ask any question you may have.
Were there a lot of questions?
No, none yet. Okay, I think we're all back. So, Ramon, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so just to wrap up with a few more slides, some advantages for students for doing this kind of program. We felt that it encouraged students to complete their homework before class because they have to talk about some of the topics in class. For point number 2, you know, a lot of the observations that we felt from the previous extensive reading programs was there was no discussion, there was no feedback from other peers. And so having students collaborate on topics through discussion, they get instant feedback from their teacher and their peers. And of course, as you just all have experienced, And I like what one person said in a previous breakout room. It's like a jigsaw. You're connecting a lot of different topics. You're negotiating meaning. You're activating background knowledge of the topic, and you're putting all this together. And we think it results in a deeper understanding of particular topics. And we think that's a really valuable part of the program. And then for teachers, having a shared Google Doc, we can basically monitor students' progression. So the focus is less on the product of learning and more on the process of learning. And because it's on a Google Doc, learning becomes a little bit more transparent. And it's a little bit easier to give feedback. Now, for our grading system, it's not a high stakes assessment. It's more along the lines of formative assessment. So giving them feedback to perform better in the activity. So students get points if they do it. And if they don't do it, then they don't get points. And that's as easy as it gets for our assessment.
Now, there are two perspectives of extensive reading and listening. You can either get students to choose their own content, which can be more motivating for them as they get to discover a topic that they're actually interested in, and also more opportunities for interaction, negotiation, and collaboration. If the teacher assigns the content, however, the good thing is there's a connection to the unit theme, more interaction with unit language, for example, vocabulary, and also deeper exploration of unit theme aspects. Now we're going to go on to the Q&A part. We have one question. So how do you monitor for potential borrowing, and are students allowed to work on this at home? So because they have to write their notes directly in there, it's really hard for them to borrow. It's very easy for us to just copy paste something onto Google and see if they've copied and pasted it. And also because we kind of go, well, we quickly scan through everything. We can really, it's clear, it's really apparent if they've copied something from a friend. Now, remember that each group usually has a different article, so they can't really borrow from other groups either. They can only borrow within their groups, which only has 4 students. So it's very easy to spot if they do that. And yes, they do work on that at home. It is a homework task. I'm sure you could also turn it into an in-class task, but it works really well as homework. Yeah, I think that's the only question we had. Okay. And that's it. Oh, another one. Sorry. Ramon, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, so because this is a low stakes assessment task, there aren't exactly rubrics involved for the process part. The process part is basically you write some of your notes in the Google Docs, and that's really meant to help prepare students to do the class discussion, or sorry, group discussion in class in the next lesson, okay? Now, in terms of assessments towards the product, which is either the paragraph or the presentation, it was really easy. For my class, it was a 3-point scale. 3 points was they went beyond what was expected. They did more than what was necessary. 2 was average. They just wrote the paragraph or they just did the presentation. And then 1 point, they didn't do anything at all, or the effort was quite minimal. So it was as easy as a 3-point system. We didn't want to make it too robust of a rubric system because we thought that'd make some students anxious, especially for the students who, remember, this is their first year as college students in an English communicative program. So a lot of them are still learning a lot of things about extensive reading and extensive listening. We just wanted to make the program a little bit more enjoyable, more fun, and more interesting, and especially more relevant to what they want to learn from class.
Mm. Yeah. Okay, I think that's all the questions we have. So, well, thank you for your feedback in the chat, first of all. It's been very nice being here. If you have any questions about our workshop, do not hesitate to contact us by email. Here are our contact details. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. A few references. And yeah, thank you again.
Thank you very much, Diane and Ramon. Excellent presentation. Again, thank you everyone for staying with us. And please feel free to put your comments in the chat. Thanks again, you guys.
Thank you.